So today we about to get into this little pump vocal tutorial, man. You already know how we rocking. We about to get into the walk in the club in the flesh like ooh, walk in the club in the flesh like ooh. And then we about to also do the vocal tutorial for D-Rose. You know how we rocking, man. Right after these messages.
Boom. Ooh. Bam. Ooh. Oh. Bop. Pow.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
What's good, YouTube? You already know who it is, man. It's your boy, the Wave Man. We back at it like crack at it. You know how we rocking on this channel, man. If you're new to this channel, I want to invite y'all to join the channel. I want y'all to subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me at Q.RudeBoy on Twitter and Instagram. I want you guys to also thumbs up this video because the more thumbs up we get, the more vocal tutorials come your way. So first, let me go ahead and play the D-Rose vocal that we're about to get into. So listen to it. 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist. D-Rose. So the first thing we're gonna do is put on the Parametric EQ, and when we get into the fruity Parametric EQ 2, we go ahead and do a high pass cut. So whenever it's gonna be a default setting. You're going to want to do a type high pass cut. You're going to want to cut it around 140. The reason being is just to roll off the lower end of the vocal. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about that D-Rose, when you want good quality, period, you want to roll off a lot. Not a lot, but up to about anywhere between 90 and I would say 150. You're going to want to roll off the lows so that you can get it cutting through the mix. All right, next we did a little peak at 3200. You know what I mean? We did a little peak at 3200 just so we can get a little bit more presence in the voice, like D-Rose, you feel me? And also, here's a little trick. Reason you see this high cut at the very end of the spectrum, the frequency spectrum, yeah, fam. We did a really high boost at I think it's about 15K or 20K. Yeah, around 15, anywhere from 15K to 20K, a boost, just to get, like, if you ever hear a vocal and you hear like a nice air sound over the top of it, and it's not really gives you nothing too harsh, just a nice air over top, because that little high boost there just gives you nice air to like cut through the mix. All right, so second thing we're gonna want to do is we're gonna go get a compressor. All good vocals are compressed correctly, and I will say Lil Pump's vocals, his mixing has come a long way, because earlier when he first started, with the D-Rose around this time, his stuff was a little bit more distorted than it is today. So for this one, there's actually a distortion in there as well, but we're at the compressor right now, and so just go ahead and compress it. I went and I did these settings right here. You can copy it down, but basically you want to turn the threshold up a little bit, make sure the attack is quick so that it can hit as soon as the vocal comes through. It just hits it, you know what I'm saying? And it compresses it, keeps it at a level playing field. Yeah, feel me? A level playing field, man. All right. So the next thing we want to do is for D-Rose one. And this, it's kind of really grungy, you know what I'm saying? It's not the best vocal quality, so I don't even think in this type of genre that they even want the best vocal mixing, you know what I'm saying? So I went ahead and dirtied up the mix with a little bit of fruity fast disc, and I went ahead and went to the preset. Basically, if you go through the preset, you'll see that there's this high one up here. This is the one I like to use, and then I just used the sub bus, which if you watch a lot of my other videos, you'll figure out I don't really use buses in FL Studios. I just use this knobs on the right side to basically level out how much I want the effect to be. So we're going to listen to this vocal. I'm going to do it at the top, and I'm going to bring it down to the level that I want it at. Just with it off. 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, ooh. 80 on my wrist. D-Rose. So that's where I like it. Just to dirty it up just a little bit, not too much, you know what I'm saying? All right. Before I get into this second EQ, we're gonna go ahead and get into this reverb. Basically, in a good vocal's never fully dry. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want it to be 100 on my wrist, sounding like you're in a empty hall. You know what I'm saying? But you just want to go ahead and make sure it's not dry. 100 on my wrist. That's dry, and we're just gonna go ahead and use a sub bus and just apply the vocal effect just a little bit, just to get it a little bit more fitting into the mix. Like if there was a beat behind here, you'll hear when you throw that reverb on it a little bit, it really starts to sit well into the track. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Pump's vocals or anybody else's vocals. You know what I'm saying? And this is the effect. We just put up a Fruity Reverb 2, and we just use actually the default. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you rock. So now, before we go any further, you see this second EQ. This EQ is specific to the D-Rose track, because in the D-Rose track, when he goes 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, at the last, I think it's 80 on my wrist, it goes into a filtered sound, and I'm going to use a telephone filtered sound. So if I were to turn this whole thing on, the whole track will sound like a telephone, for instance. 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist. We don't want the whole track to sound like that. You know what I'm saying? We not, are you there yet? Can you hear me now? Can you hear? No. We want just one thing to be in the vocal effect. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn this effect on. And this is called automating an effect. So you're going to right click the effect, and you're going to click create automation clip. Now, when you go to your whatever this is called, you see a mix level envelope. Okay. So basically, if we play it back, we're gonna wait until we say the 80 on the wrist. I think it's the last one. So 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, D-Rose. So we're gonna do it right here. So the 80 on my wrist. Okay. So you want to right click. It's gonna create a little bubble. You're gonna want to right click again. Another bubble. So you're gonna want to move one down. Make sure you move the one in the beginning so that it doesn't start 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist. You're gonna want to take this all the way down just to make sure that this effect doesn't come in until the point that you want it to come in. And for this, we want it to come in right here at the last 80 on my wrist. So 80 on my wrist. All right. Also, at the end of it, which is about here, in the middle of here, you want to right click again, slide down. D-Rose. Okay. So this is what we call automation. This is how it sounds. 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist. D-Rose. D-Rose. So that's how we're gonna get that effect. All right. And if you want another look at the, actually there's a preset in here. So if you go into the presets, and you're gonna find a preset called Old Telephone, and that's the same preset I use for this. You can always adjust it if you want it more wider. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Old Telephone, right click, create automation clip is how you do that and decide where you want your effect to apply on the track. So that's it's pretty much for D-Rose. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys ad-libs for D-Rose. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my So basically it's the same exact settings we had on the main vocal, except for the EQ. We went ahead and pulled down the highs, because in the D-Rose, it's almost like a telephone filter, except for the mids aren't boosted, so it's still low key. It's way more low key than the main vocal, so that's what we wanted to do. So we just pulled it down. So you know how there was a boost over here, went ahead and just changed this into a low pass cut, and then we pulled it down. 80 on. And that's how you get the and that stuff stays very low key in the background, and it doesn't interfere with any main vocals or anything like that. Now we are gonna go to walk in the club and I flex like you feel me? So let's go ahead and hear how this track sounds.
Walked in the club and I flex like had some jets all on my shoe. Yo girl want me, she call me boo, and she wanna get in a coupe. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Walk in the club and I flex like
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this right now. Put this on 14, baby. All right, so we're gonna start off with the EQ. So basically what we did was we did a it's a high pass. We did a high pass cut. You feel me? We did that at the same about 140, and we also did a peak at a 7500, around 7500, just a little bit, just to bring that presence in. So this is one of the newer Lil Pump songs, so this quality sounds a little bit more crispy and clear. And notice, crispy doesn't always mean that you're boosting the highs. You know what I'm saying? Because people think if it's crispy, they think that's crispy. That's not crispy. That's not crispy. Just because you boosting mad highs doesn't mean it's crispy. So basically, like I said, I'm gonna boost around 7,500. You know what I mean? Somewhere around there. Keep it mad neutral. Less is more. Charmin Ultra. Less is more. All right. So this is pretty much the EQ. Next thing we did, we got another compressor. This is the same compressor as the last time. And what makes this song a little bit more different is it doesn't have the distortion, because this is a much more crispy and much more professional sound. We went ahead and just added a delay, because there's a delay in this track.
Walked in the club and I flex like, ooh, hands on jets all on my shoe.
So with this one, it's gonna be at normal. We went ahead and changed it to ping pong because it sounds better when it's coming from the side. You know what I'm saying? Kind of bouncing a little bit more. Also, we cut it some, because when it's not cut, you're gonna hear how this sounds. It's gonna sound exactly like the vocal.
Walked in the club and I flex like,
you don't want that. It to sound like it's the same vocal. So what we did is we cut it. So by cutting it, it's like literally cutting, like EQing it out so that it's more in a low, like it's lo-fi, you know what I'm saying? So let's do it now.
Walked in the club and I flex like, ooh.
You know what I'm saying? It's just way more low key, and it doesn't sound the exact same as the vocal. It's actually like kind of filtered off, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what we did for that. And also, as you can see, we're using this sub bus, and this is how you control, like I said, how much you want the effect to affect the actual vocal. Last but not least, we did the same sub bus type thing with the reverb, and we just went ahead and used the actual default setting that the reverb came with, you know what I'm saying? And we just went ahead and did the same thing, just turned it down some. And that's how we do the reverb and all the other effects, you know what I'm saying? So, ashkere, Lil Pump. Also, before you leave, I want you guys to make sure you subscribe. Follow me at Q That Rude Boy on Instagram and Twitter. I also want you guys to thumb this video up. Make sure you like it. Make sure you guys comment down below. Let me know anybody else y'all want me to do, because we back at it like crack addicts, and we not lacking. You feel me? Before y'all leave, I want y'all to make sure y'all read the description down low, because I'm planning on doing a SoundCloud reaction thing for the new followers I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to get the same exposure I'm getting. I want to share with you guys. I want to be a big community. Straight like that.